Hello, it is October 25th, 4:11 in the morning Eastern, and I'm doing a dota2castit game for Savish. It's a Windrunner game. It's looking to improve his play, or you are, since you'll probably be the only one watching this. Gonna watch your game. I didn't see the results. It's first take. Everything's gonna be off the head, so I might miss some stuff. But it's all about you. I'm going to be focusing mostly on you. Maybe a few things that other players might be doing wrong or right they should take note of. I'm going to assume you're the Windrunner. I'm going to skip ahead here. Okay, 50 seconds left. Dire side Windrunner. And it looks like you are supporting, if not offlaning, because at 2K I don't think there's many Furions who go offlane, which is a popular thing, so he's probably just going jungle. Nice lazy jungle.
30 seconds to battle!
You gave a ward to whoever wanted it, or someone gave you the ward, whatever. Now your starting build, if you're a support and you're not going to be expecting much farm, the Ring of Protection maybe isn't going to do too much. You might be better off with the salve or more regen. And as a support, like, probably don't want the branches. You should be spending it like maybe on sentries, things like that. But it depends on the game. In lower MMR, you can get away with not buying sentries early. Although you probably want sentries against your Broodmother if you're going to be hanging out top lane, which might be a good idea if this Broodmother goes into early spiders, which she might. Yes, the dual laning off lane Enchantress, a rare sight to see. Don't ever do that, that's ineffective. Learn how to play her jungle. Oh, but it looks like you're going to be farming. Alright, this is a Luna mid. Don't do Luna mid either, that's not very good nowadays. I bet she didn't have a fun time. Anyway, you're going to be against this dual lane. You should actually not have the worst time. You match up well versus Broodmother. Broodmother likes to get a lot of right click harass when she gets her passive up on whoever she's laning against, which Windrunner kind of does well against with her Windrun. And Power Shot's good for clearing away spiders.
Denied.
Oh, that's a shame. Now you're 2K, so one of the things I recommend is just practicing last hitting in any practice games. Maybe put on music and just spend like 10 minutes seeing how many last hits you can get. Especially on Windrunner. Windrunner's got a really nice attack animation and good starting damage. So, under tower is hard. You did get that last hit. You want to pre-hit these once. So if you know that if you think the tower is going to hit it, you can stand in between, like here. I'm going to go back. So like here, I would be standing here. So you could pre-hit the range creep. But that's like technical. That's just shit you practice. If you practice like 10 minutes every once in a while, just getting last hits, alright, you do get sentries, which is good. Now, as a player, if you're a player trying to get better, this is the best possible situation for you. You're alone, you have a lane all to yourself, and your lane isn't actually too hard. Like, they can't really kill you unless you fuck up. So again, you'd probably want to be standing here, because now you missed 2 range creeps off of that. It adds up. I'm not gonna like grill you for it too bad. It's not the worst thing in the world. You can afford to play a little bit more aggressive and trade hits with this Broodmother. She has a lot of regen, but you just gotta show her who's boss. And I wouldn't worry too much about denies. They're gonna be sharing experience. Any denies you do get are gonna be really good, and should be trying to deny your range creeps at least, because since last patch, range creep denies are worth a lot more. That's apparently an enemy. Oh, she enchanted it. I thought it was a bug. Overall, you have pretty good camera control and pretty good movement, I guess. So nothing there. I'm just trying to establish a baseline for your skill. I'm not trying to like say you're bad or anything. Other lanes, things are happening, but we don't care about other lanes. Basically, to get up in MMR, you want to play for consistency. You want to half the time people on your team are going to be bad or they're going to be good or whatever, but if you can just always maintain a certain level of consistency with your play, you can always have an above 50% win rate, I feel. Unless you're picking like really bad heroes that have no impact, or you're just like walking into a counter pick. Like you pick a Broodmother when they already have an axe or something, just off the top of my head. But you should be getting more last hits in this. That's my biggest complaint, I guess. But that's just something you can practice. If I were you, I would put one sentry down about right here, because the lane's pushed up, and there's not going to be any real ways for anyone to push the lanes. Besides you. You have basically all the control of where the lane is going to be. That's the power of the safe lane. Usually, if this was a more standard lane, I'm going to go free camera. Pulling the lane is one way to control where the lanes meet. Also, spamming certain spells, like your power shot, would be one way to control. The Broodmother can kind of control with her Q, but not really. It's not as good as like your power shot is, and you're going to be getting some pretty fun farm if you can manage to kill the spiders. You have a good habit of moving in between shots and repositioning yourself, which is a good habit. At this point, I would be ferrying out your Bassi, complete it. The extra damage will help you since you're having a little bit of difficulty last hitting. And the aura is good, you can just keep spamming out power shots since they're pushing up the wave. Now, when this happens, if they're just pushing up the wave blindly, you can be a bit more liberal with your auto attacks so that you don't have to be constantly hitting creeps under your tower, which could be annoying. You just gotta find the right balance. If you can keep your like right here, you'll be good. They won't be able to attack you or without risking tower, and you can just last hit freely. Now, since you're a Windrunner, if this was any other hero, I would say get your boots already, but you don't really need to. Also, if I was you, I would be power shotting these right now. Yeah, there you go. Sick farm. You can now afford boots and your Bassi, so this is where I would advise you do so and just take the courier. So I'm not sure what the Luna is doing. She didn't get a bottle, which she really should have versus the Tinker. So that's whatever. Then she can just keep spamming out her Qs and probably get a solo kill. But that's another hero. She didn't level her ulti. That's 6. She leveled. Okay, this is 2k. I gotta keep. Don't ever do what she's doing. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Also, you're gonna have games where people are gonna be dying like this, just all over the place. Thankfully, it's kind of going in your favor, which is really good. But it's gonna be times where it don't. There's no disadvantage in the first 10 minutes that you can't come back from, especially now in this patch. Whatever happens in the first 10 minutes, you can come back from it, like 9 times out of 10. Unless it's intentional feeding or something like that.
Blessings upon a loyal
So, also I forgot to mention, you always want to check who has regen on the other team. This, I'm guessing this Broodmother either didn't have regen, or we went through all of it, which I don't think is the case, which means you should just keep right-clicking her, because she's completely living off of her. Ooh, Luna's ganking! Luna's ganking, boys, without her ulti. Alright, gank successful.
Is the walls of Icerack.
You put the sentry down too late, but that was a good shackle. This is not your fault at all. This is the Luna thinking that she's contributing with her no ulti. Like, if she had ulti, you'd probably get a double kill there. Or she does, either of you do. Now here your lane's fucked up. Basically, Luna came and ruined your lane. What do? I can tell. You're like, what do? I have no creeps to hit. I'm scared. I don't want to go 2 versus 1 against those heroes. So this is what you do. You go pull this creep right here at 715. Conversely, if the creep wave is, if you're standing here, like if this was a safer lane and you're allowed to stand here or whatever, and the lane's pushing, you pull this creep camp. You cut this tree here, and at either at the 21st second or the 51st second, you pull them straight up. If you can't get there by 21st or 22nd, you can pull them here, or you can pull them here. Is generally what you can do. Then you have the dilemma of, okay, you're pulling now. This is good. Anyway, while that's happening, you have the dilemma of, let's kind of like this. Basically, you have do you go and kill the pull creeps, or do you go worry about the lane creeps? You always worry about the lane creeps first, because they're the ones that are threatening your tower. Like, you should be over here pulling the creeps off. and just dragging them all the way right back. Don't pull them down here because then you get that weird clusterfuck. You pull them all the way right back because then you could last it in between your two top towers or your two towers there, which is a lot safer than last standing down here. Now you have a bottle. I like that. I like that a lot. But generally, if you're getting a bottle, you don't need to get the Bassi. What you can do is start out. If you're planning on getting a bottle, your starting item should be working towards a Bassi, I feel, just for the extra damage and the extra stats, and then you can finish the bottle. But here, you don't really need the mana regen. The armor's nice and the damage, but a Null Talisman would have been more beneficial. So if you started off with that, what was it, the Mantle? Or someone had one in their inventory, I don't know. Oh wait, never mind, you guys are at the bad ends, I'm not sure. Luna's here, she killed the Enchantress, that's good. She still doesn't have ulti, she's level 8. She did max her nuke, which I guess is okay. But, I don't know. Now she's gonna come here, and she's gonna steal your creeps. Basically, she's doing you no favors. Killing the Enchantress is okay, but it's not worth her time. Basically, a mid shouldn't, a farming intensive mid like she is, she's really farm dependent, shouldn't be really leaving her lane unless it's worth a double kill, or you're gonna secure a tower and objective. So she's gonna sit here and just hit your creeps, push your wave up, and basically cost you about 300 to 400 gold is what she just did.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bottom lane, ooh, a smoke.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think the Crystal Maiden's dead. Yeah, the Crystal Maiden's dead. She getting gold. Yeah. Legion dying. Legion is running the complete wrong way. She's not using her spell. There we go. Her farm's pretty bad. Oh, that was the other team that did well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, see, I'm gonna pause for a second. Don't ever do. I can't pause. Whatever. I don't want to pause. This doesn't work. Stacking regen with regen. Like, what spell is she gonna cast? This is a 10-second cooldown. Like, this doesn't work. This is hilarious. Okay. Anyway, you. I'm focusing on you here. Gosh, don't ever do that though. Oh man. She doesn't have boots. Slowest hero in the game. She just like, I don't need boots. It's about that like, you need your boots. I don't know where your boots are, but you need them. You definitely need them before the bottle. I didn't even notice. Like, you can get away with not having them, but once you leave the lane, you need boots. Because you're also pretty slow. You're 295. That's below average. And they have fast heroes. These two heroes right here are super fast. 442 right here. And she's 370. Like, holy shit.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This guy needs boots. I mean, oh, that was a good shackle. Pretty good. They shouldn't have been there anyway.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
If I was you, I'd probably sell the Sentry and Tango and buy boots. Because you really need them. And where's the
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I guess she's just farming. She's never gonna finish that Midas. Oh my lord. She maxes enchant but doesn't enchant anything.
Radiant's bottom tower is
so far your mechanics are pretty well except for your last hitting. But as far as moving and casting your spells, everything's okay. Your item decisions, you should think about them a bit more. If you're playing Windrunner a lot, it's going to be easier to focus on like certain items. That other heroes that go through similar item builds are Mirana gets similar items. I'd say. If you like playing her, even Luna to an extent, like phase boots, Bassi sort of deal. But she went Helm. Helm is not a cost-efficient item. You should only get this if you need to stack camps for yourself. Otherwise, you can just go drums or something fighting. I would advise her to get drums, so that she'd have more HP and be able to fight, and then like an early BKB. Now you three look like you want to push mid, or maybe kill this guy. But he has boots, so you finally have boots. If you shackle right now, If you had shackled this range creep, you probably would have hooked him. It's iffy because of Windrunner shackles are weird, but they slightly buff the range or something like that. I don't know. Tinker has his travels.
Invisibility.
If she tread toggles, she might have enough mana to maybe kill him. I don't know. But he has more mana in his spell, so she'd probably die. You should be farming these camps as you walk past them. There's nothing important happening, so you can just be killing creeps as you walk by them. If you spend, you know, your 20 seconds killing this creep with your power shot or whatever, yeah, like you're doing that now, but you could have killed this, used your bottle, and then refilled it at the 14-minute rune. So it's important to think about camps that are around you, if you can farm them, and when like room and looking at the time. Just look at the timing of everything. That's a huge thing to practice, is timings. Learning stacking camps as you're walking by them, if the timing's correct, things like that.
Dire's bottom tower is under
now you should in no way be scared of this hero right now.
Their structures.
Yeah.
Radiant structures are fireproof.
Now your next item should probably be upgrading your boots to base boots. You should have had them by now, to be completely honest, but it's fine. I don't think anyone in this game has anything by the time they're supposed to. Wait, so she went on Midas and then bought an extra glove of haste. It's not very efficient.
Dire's middle tower.
There's probably going to be a fight top, which looks good for, I guess, you guys. I guess she's fine. It's fine. I don't know what she's gonna do with these. Build an orchid or something. Duel. Dead. Tinker's there. Really good. She made an ulti, but Juggernaut doing Juggernaut things. Is Prophet gonna TP in for a double kill? No, he's not. Juggernaut's dead.
Not possible.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't much you could do to help. You are building mech, I see. You were the safe laner. You had farm priority. I would not have built. I guess building mech on you is okay if you had gotten it sooner. Getting it by about 10 minutes with the lane you had would have been good. And you're about to die. You need to Windrun and skedaddle out. Basically, from now he's shown his cards, right? Anytime he's gonna do that again, it's your responsibility to power shot the creep he's DPing to. Now Prophet's dead. I don't know what he was doing.
Science 1. Nature's prophet.
Is he building crit? His iron build is not good though. For what he's trying to do, I mean.
Has fallen.
You're not shy about using your power shot to farm, which is a good thing. That's a thing I see a lot of people do. They're either early slower. I have my best friends like lower 2k MMR around your slot, so I see my fair share of wacky things. But his issue was learning how to, when it's appropriate to spam your spells and when it's not appropriate. But you seem like you have a good handle. You use your spells to farm when you know they're not going to be needed in the next few seconds, which is something he wouldn't do. Spams like Impale on Lion. There's other heroes around, so they smoke. So these guys are pretty smart. I think Luna's dead. You're gonna live, I think. Oh, you need to leave. Ooh, she got her ulti off. That's actually really good. That went a lot better than I expected. So I'm gonna rewind and we'll talk about what happened. So basically what should have happened was, did she have blink? This Legion is trying to run in for duels. Oh, it was the Luna Eclipse. Like, if it had spread itself out, I think Luna would have died, because then the Leshrac would have got one more last hit in. You would have lived. But she got really fortunate with her ulti. And thankfully she did get both levels of it, I guess at 10 and 11 or something, I'm not sure.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
On the Juggernaut, I would be running at her right now, considering two of the strongest heroes are dead. Just run at her an ulti. He lost his window because the creeps came. Alright, UTB bottom to defend the push. Spider Lady's dead. Pretty good heroes against Spider Lady. The Crystal Maiden's okay. You can just commit ulti and it's not a big deal because ultis are always hard to get off as that hero anyway. And then Windrunner power shot, it's always fun. I would have maxed Shackle before Windrun. They don't have that much right clicks to be worried about. And they haven't been really, they haven't stuck on you. They don't have heroes that can stick on you, so 1 level Windrun is enough. If they have a hero that can really jump on you and keep you still like a Slark or something, then maybe leveling it up first is good. But in this game, a good Shackle is good. Cause look at this positioning by them. They have horrible positioning. You should be throwing out Shackles left and right. And you should be spamming your power shot when you have this much mana. I don't think you could have killed anyone, but you could have driven them off. So you can be a lot more liberal there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tinker's farm's kind of bad, but I guess it's always bad now that he can't do ancients.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I would Shackle here because you're bounded landed. No, Tinker's here. You should back because you're about to get rocketed. Basically, you got to be really careful every time the Tinker comes in because he does the most damage to you by far, except for like the Lestrak maybe. But that's if he gets all his spells on you, and I don't think so. He's got questionable items for a support player. Also, there's zero vision on the map. This is your responsibility. You're the safe laner. It doesn't matter if you're a hero that can play support. It doesn't mean you should be building support items. Unless you absolutely have to and you have the extra gold. In this case, you're building the mech, so the mech is your responsibility. That means the wards are someone else's responsibility. Namely, this Crystal Maiden, who should honestly buy and earn.
Nature attend us.
Midas treads on this, so she's gonna be using impetus to farm creeps. Good mana efficiency, right? Also, you guys have a really good early Rosh lineup between the lifesteal and the healing ward. So if you ever get a ward up, you can Rosh like probably right now, and you have pretty good damage between the lot of you. I'm gonna look at last hits for a second. So you're not far behind your third, which is completely respectable. You're above the safe laner of the other team, which I'm assuming was the Legion. Really good power shot there.
You weren't so damn
really
dead,
good
I'd
two-man
shoot you
play.
again.
And you have your mech now. It's later than I'd like, but I can't complain because you do have second most last hits. Actually, let me look at worth, but that's more quite mid. Spider Lady might be dead. No? No dust on anyone? Can someone just buy a dust casually? It's not. Anyway, where the hell's net worth? Just pressing on my buttons until I find it. That's why. So you're halfway down the list. You should be higher up, to be honest. But thankfully you do have players above you. You're fourth for your team, even though you had safe lane farm. So that's something you should improve on, is just getting your last hits. You shouldn't be afraid if you get the early Bassi or say the early bottle, to use your power shot to get 2 last hits of a creep wave. Basically, they won't be able to deny it. Getting 2 last hits per power shot is always good. The most efficient is 2 last hits and there's a team fight happening, but it's kind of boring. By boring, I mean it was just a Luna ulti that just wrecked the whole team. No creeps to tank it, thanks to you guys had really good creep clear, so her ulti just went off, and it was an Ags ulti, so it basically just won the fight. Questionable item build-up, I would say, because this is like a farming item, this is a killing item. But hey, can't argue with the results, right?
Top tower is under attack.
My point about so yeah, getting 2 last hits with a power shot, and then getting harassment with it. always good.
Radiant's top
And with the
tower is
Broodmother
under
lane, you
attack.
could always be spamming it out more.
Radiant's
But
top tower has fallen.
I'm sure it was just you're not comfortable with the lane. It was an Enchantress and a Broodmother. Maybe you weren't sure of what they are capable of. But as you play more, you're gonna get a sense of when heroes can kill you and when you can kill heroes. Because I'm pretty sure you could have probably killed at least the Enchantress in that lane if you'd gotten right clicks on her. Oh wow, the fade time. Basically, it looked like she dodged the last hit. She faded out and it disjointed the projectile from Luna. That's how she lived. She's actually dead. So that was pretty questionable from the Spider Lady, who doesn't have boots. Don't ever do this item build either on her. You still need boots on her.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So Luna's doing pretty well, and I wouldn't say she's above her MMR. I would say it's not like, oh, she's a 3K player and she's playing, she's stomping. She's definitely seems like a 2K player, but what happened here is that she has tons of magic damage, which is always good in low MMR games, and she farms really fast since she went with the early glyphs. It's not the most efficient, but she got away with it because of his skill level. Juggernaut's another one of those heroes that's like that. Lots of early damage and farms pretty fast if you know how. But his items aren't efficient, I would say. He should have more, I think, by now. But he's died a lot. I'm gonna let him off the hook. I don't even talk about her items. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Oh, I think your Nature's Prophet is dead. I want to watch this. Oh, he's so dead. He has no escape. Why don't they just blink dagger?
Radiant structures are fortified.
We need 3 heroes for that. This is where the Nature's Prophet just says space created, because you're gonna get top tower.
Oh, kiss the good dude, die young.
Efficient use of ulti.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Okay, you finish your phase boots after mech. Now you have choices. It's 24 minutes, right? So you have to think about items that are good for 20 more minutes plus, and you got to think about when you're getting your next item. You'll probably be getting your next item around 30 minutes. So what item is strong at 30 minutes that you can get in like that time and farm it up? Considering the space you have, you got to be thinking like that. The answer is just Maelstrom, which is pretty standard on her, probably. It'll help you farm faster for your next item, which should be done by like 36 minutes if you're given the space and the kills or whatever. Maybe a blink dagger, but the thing is, the blink dagger is usually done. It doesn't help you farm faster, and it's questionable if you aren't fighting a lot, because you can either be the best item or the worst item on Windrunner, depending on how the fights are going. And the kill score is pretty close, even though you guys have a pretty commanding map control lead. I think this Tinker's dead. Ooh, he blinked. He's an okay Tinker. If I was you, I would have waited and spammed the power shot straight up, just get vision and all the trees. But I mean, he could have blinked over here. He could have blinked like over here. You have no. Ooh, misclick. You have no idea where you could have clicked. You're getting a 4-staff. Now this is the your sort of off-laning, supporty, non-greedy Windrunner build. Except nowadays the hero sort of needs to be a bit greedier. So you get the Maelstrom just to farm and to do more damage, especially with your ulti. 4-staff is good. I would either get the 4-staff or the mech. Getting both is kind of ridiculous. Dumb? Not dumb. I'm not gonna say dumb. It's a bit inefficient because both of these items have around the same cost, about 2,200 gold or something like that. Not a good ulti. She shouldn't be casting ulti when there's spiders up like that. But they kill the Enchantress, who might have randomed it or something because she doesn't know what she's doing on the hero. If you're ever gonna play a new hero, just look up a video of it first. Don't use just a guide. Just look up a video of anyone playing it and see what they do. See, just watch like a 5-minute skim through it. Look at how they use their skills. Look at the items they built. Instead of just trying to use guides that are usually not too efficient, or guides with no text, like they won't have the tooltips that will tell you how to use the spell, or they won't have tooltips for the items. I don't have any builds up right now. But yeah, the Windrunner build. Basically, you want to get either the mech or the force staff, because it's a 2100 item. Neither of them really help you farm faster, just a utility item that is used to help your team or yourself. So you just get one of them. You don't need to be the hero that gets every team-saving utility item in the game. You usually want to spread that around so that you can be more efficient. You can min-max your hero basically. So we've got the mech, then probably, you know, you can really get anything in this sort. You're in the position to get whatever you want. You could have gone an Orchid, which would have been fine for Tinker. Ooh, if you stayed, you probably could have. Never mind, he canceled his TP. Now there's no real need for you to TP. You could have calmly walked into the jungle. You should have seen, like, if your teammates get 3 kills, it's safe to assume that an area like this is safe. So you can go and just start power shotting from here, right, left across. So you hit the 2 creep camps and then just clicking them or whatever. The Tinker's most likely not going to be there because he's going to be TPing to lanes, and he's not going to be able to really efficiently, like, the percentage chance of him being in the jungle is slim because he'd have to TP here and then walk or blink up. Anyway, there's fighting mid, so I'm just going to watch. Good shackle, I think. What did shackle? Oh, you shackled spiders. That was a... that happens. You always gonna miss. There's so many units there, you try to click. But hey, fight 1. Level 3 Ag's ulti on Luna, pretty strong. But she has Manta. She's gonna die here, I think. Good, mech. You just saved her life. She should commend you for that. But yeah, getting something like an Orchid or a Maelstrom would help with your damage. It'd give you a lot more presence in team fights rather than just waiting to bail someone out with a mech or force staff.
What is this? I came here for a battle.
If it's one of those games where you can't really get a blink for whatever reason, maybe they have heroes that are good with blink, like something with a radiance or damage over times, like a Venomancer, then you probably want to get the force staff, since that can also help you position yourself for the clutch shackles and whatnot. Shackles, I haven't talked about them too much. You've thrown a few out, and they've sort of been hit or miss, but you should really be throwing them out. They should be your most spam skill, I think, that and power shot. Usually shackles should always be your first, your opener, because they just set up so much for your team and everything. So basically just up your shackle shot usage. You know, you miss every shot. You miss every shackle you don't throw, right? So it's good to sort of practice them as much as you can. Shackling creeps to heroes, like if there's a hero here and a creep here, you shackle the creeps so it latches behind them. And heroes to creeps if the creeps are behind them. The way the shackle works, I'm not sure how much you've studied it, but basically it's going to shackle based on your position when it hits. So if you're standing here and you throw a shackle, like really far, let's say he force staffs himself and the shackle has to travel super far. Basically, if you blink to the side or something, it'll then shackle to the left side, basically in that line when it hits. It's a straight line between you and the shackle in a certain angle. The angle's like, I'm not sure what the exact number is. Does it show in the tooltip? Blah 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 blah. Doesn't say. Impurities. But it's like a smallish cone, I guess. I want to say like 65 degrees in front of you, something like that.
Attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Getting a desolator.
Radiant's bottom tower
I don't like this build from the
Dire's top tower is under
Dangerous
attack.
Prophet.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Pretty greedy. Now you guys should just keep pushing. In terms of your map movement, and just overall, say, macro decision making in terms of where to be on the map. We've been pretty good about it. You've been taking objectives with your team. You haven't been off on your own. You're always thinking about how you can help your team. I can already tell, just without hearing about communication, just how you move close to them and things like that. You've done pretty well. Like the Juggernaut's sort of been the greedy. He's always kind of been on his own. He's been showing up for fights, but I mean he tends to be more solo. Nature's Prophet's always going to be bouncing around doing things. And then the Crystal Maiden's kind of been sticking to the Luna, so I would imagine that maybe they're do a stack, or I'm not sure. But basically, you should be able to. I would focus the. Yeah. Nice. That was really good. They panicked.
Too cute to kill. Just stay back.
They
and
buffed
hide
Crystal
next
Maiden's
time.
ulti, so it's pretty vicious now. I think it's like the AoE of the explosion, so it's more likely to hit. There are some shackles, even if they don't latch. Just the mini stuns enough sometimes. Sad Leshrac. Now this is pretty tricky. Tinker, although he got nerfed, is pretty annoying to push against because of his march. Which he isn't using efficiently to fight top. So the Leshrac went full carry here and got a BKB.
Tower is under attack.
I mean, if he was playing safe lane carry, then that's good. Which he might have been, I have no idea. But he needs more utility. He needs a Yule Scepter before Bloodstone. Yule's is also good on Windrunner, but the timing on it's a bit awkward because it's about 3,000 gold, it's like 2,700. So it's one of those items that you don't really get too quick, and it doesn't synergize too much with your skills, although it gives you tons of cool little stats, like mana regen and the intelligence.
Heal us.
That's why I think Enchantress is dead. Sick ulti. I think this Crystal Maiden's dead. I know you're perfectly right in being hesitant about diving them like that. You are perfectly right. I would not be doing that either if I was you. So I'm hoping that your teammate didn't flame you for committing to that
The seeds of force.
bullshit. I'm just hitting creeps now, yeah. This creep is fine not to farm. You made the right decision there, because that's a little bit more dangerous to farm. You don't know if they have a ward up here, because they've been playing defensive. They might have put a defensive ward there. Yo, you should have finished that, I think. They had no real way to kill you, and you have tons of defensive options. So you could have farmed that, and you could have actually farmed this. So learning how to just get as many creeps as you can during downtime like this. Like, you're not expected to be helping top because that's simply too far away. And if they're taking a fight there, they can't possibly expect you to walk all the way across the map to help, right? So when they're doing that, you should either be hitting creeps or pushing an objective. You can't really push an objective here because the only objectives to take are these really high risk ones to take by yourself. So yeah, you should grab this. This is so delicious, man. I don't know how you can just ignore that temptation. Your team's fine, dude. Look, it's fine. He's spinning and winning. Good shackle. Alright, let me see your jukes. Let's see how good you can juke now. There's the 4 staff. Okay. Okay, the tactical. If they chase, they have to grab the bounty rune, right? They can't chase you and not take the bounty rune. So yeah.
Nicely.
I see why you left the bounty rune now. This is distraction, right? You have pretty good mana regen, so feel free to just spam all your spells all the fucking time just to farm. Roche has been ignored this game. You guys could have taken Roche anytime you wanted, I think, as long as you've had a ward down. You have a pretty good Roche lineup between the 5 of you. Excuse me. It's like 5 in the morning now or something. He was trying to get a solo kill or something, but that doesn't work. Alright, this item builds on Legion. Basically, she's saying the only damage I need is from dueling. So it's don't do that. In fact, getting Blink first on Legion isn't usually the best idea. Blink treads is the minimum, but that's only if they have super squishy heroes, which I guess you could say, yeah, it's a Crystal Maiden, it's a Nature's Prophet, which they killed. But generally, if you're farming Legion, you want something like a Mjolnir, not Mjolnir, Maelstrom, and then to Blink. Maelstrom helps you farm fast and Blink, and then you can just start killing people with that. You're fine. I would say you're a 3-position farmer now. It's what you sort of transition to. Ooh, like. So Legion's dead here because her item build is actually super bad. She bought out all items. She's going Desolator.
I'll take that as tribute.
She needs them stalk her ass. She needs a lot of things actually. But the thing is, when you go, these items aren't necessarily bad on her. But when you go in them in a certain order, it sort of stops you from farming efficiently. Because the way to farm fast is by getting lots and lots of damage. That's all that matters. HP doesn't help you farm fast, Blink Daggers don't help you farm fast, things like that.
Double kill.
Good fight. This Crystal Maiden's ultis have been spot on.
My snow.
You did get a Maelstrom, you got a 3rd item, pretty good. But right now its effectiveness, well, I don't know how much, its effectiveness is probably still going to be kind of effective because everyone's kind of not really farmed.
Double damage.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
What I would have done is gone for the Desolator instead, because at this point you're not really farming anymore. You're trying to end the game, right? You have all their outer towers, so all you want to do is hit buildings. Getting the kills is secondary. You can let other people get kills. You want to hit the buildings. The Desolator helps you. But I think someone else is getting the Desolator. He already has one. I mean, you could get one yourself. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, now you're rushing. Nature's Prophet should come. You do need the Desolate damage. You have pretty good damage on your own, actually.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Immortality. Haste.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
Bad position to be in right here. This whole river area, really dangerous to be in most of the time. So you always got to be careful when you're there. Thankfully you have a 4-staff, so you can always 4-staff up ground. You got to be careful though.
Come on, sprites.
Good, Shackle.
Monster kill.
Enchantress, you're so
Wow, you actually haven't died once this game,
before I killed you.
which is really good. So I can see you really cherry-picked your game here. Like, show them the good games. Don't show them the bad games, right? But nah, you've played well. I can easily see you getting up to 3K. I'm not sure what exactly your MMR is. You said lower 2K, but I can see you getting the 3K with just a few changes. Basically, sort of slim down your item build. You're building items that are great for your hero. Don't get me wrong, but you can easily eliminate one of these items here.
Radiant's top tower is under
The
attack.
timing of the items is important. Like a Maelstrom at the time that you got it isn't the best choice, considering what you're trying to do, which was kill buildings. But hey, it doesn't hurt, it gives you more damage, and it's perfectly fine this game, to be honest.
Holy shit, double kill.
So this Luna is evened out and basically has a really good build at this point, aside from the Ags, which is questionable, but that's whatever. In pub games you can sort of run away with, like, you can get away with all these sort of little cheeky items.
Killing spree.
This is where you just win the game.
Radiant's middle turret
But yeah, you can easily get the 3K if you work on your last hitting, practice, get that down. If your last hitting and laning was up to, say, like, a bit better, I don't know, you could have gotten a ton of last hits, if not every single one. I don't see how they could have contested. And maybe a kill or two. Because Windrunner is just really good at last hitting, as it is.
Top barracks are under attack.
Slim down your item builds, focus it, you know,
Radiant's top
and
barracks
focus on farming more and using your mana just to hit creeps whenever you're walking past the camp. Because I saw a lot of unused space, right? Basically, whenever your team is fighting or taking a kill and you can't be there in time, consider that space and consider what can I farm in that time? How much gold can I get? Getting even a level like 150 gold or whatever whenever there's a fight going down on the other side of the map is pretty good, like over here or whatever, if you know they're fighting over here, which was the case earlier.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But that's just, you know, practice and just some games are going to be frantic where you feel like you don't have the space to farm and you always have to be running around getting 8 kills. But that's just experience is going to help you with that. I still get that sometimes on certain heroes where I don't feel like I have the space to farm or I feel pressured to get kills or things like that. Also, but I did like how you sort of played your own game. Thankfully you had a free lane, so that was pretty generous of the other team. You've chosen your battles well. You haven't completely trusted your team. You didn't dive the tier 3s when the Crystal Maiden was running in over here and just like dying or whatever, which is pretty good. But I can't say you've played like a pussy either. You haven't like, oh, I'm just gonna sit back so I don't die for no reason. So but you haven't been focused. I mean, Tinker's tried to kill you, but you've always backed up. You've recognized that they have kill potential on you, and you've backed up. Some people don't realize that. The next step is realizing your kill potential on other heroes. There's going to be times where you're going to be given a stupidly easy lane, and the other team doesn't realize it, or the other players don't, and they're just going to play really aggressive or dumb, and you're going to slaughter the lane, and you're going to get double kills or whatever. Usually that happens on heroes like Bristleback and things like that. But it happens on, I think, any hero. You can pull it off. I haven't been paying attention to how much you've been using phase boots. Generally you can just spam it, but that's like extremely minor and nitpicky. When you windrun and
I missed
oh,
the mark.
sucks. That's not really your fault. That's just you trying to help. It's tough against. Let me back up because I was talking about phase boots instead of this fight. Yeah, your Luna got stunned and didn't BKB. Why isn't she BKB?
I missed the
She didn't
mark.
BKB. She didn't ulti. I think she just dies here.
Another phase.
She BKB'd as she died. Worst thing you can do. You either use it right away on your first life when you have Aegis, or you don't use it at all. So your Luna is the reason why that fight went horrible, and you should report her. And she's not getting out of this alive because the lifesteal on Broodmother, when she gets on top of you like that, is actually insane. It's 100% at level 16 with bonus damage, which means she's lifestealing for that's 128. Well, with treads, it's what is that? That's 133 plus 100. She's 233 HP for right click, and she right clicks pretty fast. Actually, once per second more or less, or twice every 1.5 seconds, something like that. Good ulti. He's not getting shit with that though. He needs to spin and TP out. He doesn't have a TP. He's gonna commit to this. Not a good idea. He's actually dead if she has ulti. If she ultis right now, thankfully all you have buyback except for the Juggernaut, which is an issue. His item build isn't that good either. Sanj and Yasha, it's okay actually. His item build. It doesn't transition well into this game. Unless he, I guess, disassembles it, but then like he's stuck in this weird role where he's like, do I get a Manta? It's like Manta's not even that good on this hero because he needs plus damage to take advantage of his crit. That's something I'll talk about during this downtime. Why you don't like okay, Chaos Knight for instance. Okay, you have illusion heroes, and then you have illusion heroes, right? Heroes that build illusions. Think like Phantom Lancer, Terror Blade, and Luna, I guess, is sort of an illusion hero. She always gets Manta, but that's for other reasons. That's just because of her glaives. But basically, with illusion heroes, you want to build stats, plus stats. So because your illusions get the plus stats, do not get plus damage. This is why heroes like Chaos Knight are kind of awkward, because he has a crit, but he also has illusions with his ulti, right? So if you're building plus damage to take advantage of his crit, your illusions are going to miss out. But if you build stats to buff your illusions, your crit's going to kind of miss out. It's basically better to just build stats on him anyway. But that's not why he's not picked a lot like in pro games. It's because his farm's pretty slow. And that's the biggest reason. He just farms pretty slow and his mana's kind of horrible. It's a few things. I'm surprised. He's pretty strong, I think, though, this patch. We might be able to see him make a resurgence. Oh, that's why you don't see like Faceless Void getting Manta style at all, because he's got a nice bash, and generally you don't care about stats too much. You care about just plus damage. You get things like Chrysalis, Daedalus, which your Manta illusions wouldn't really get. That's why you don't really get a Chrysalis or Daedalus on Luna either. It's because you're gonna get a Manta, so you want things that kind of benefit her. Though usually you just get Butterfly Satanic, which is a super sick item combo, evasion and lifesteal. Boots and Travel is a fine pickup. You're spending all your time on their side of the map, so it's just. Also, maybe you did finish Desolator. This is where your next item is going to be Ags. You can sell your TP and just get an Ags, because then you'll get the full effect of your Desolator or whatever when you ulti stuff. But I mean, the game's pretty much over more or less. It's just sort of a formality.
I'll take that as tribute.
They can't really come back from this. You guys have just too much gold. We don't have buybacks or anything, but if Tinker dies, it's GG. Refresher. She's gonna have. I don't know if she'll have enough mana for everything. She will not have enough mana to cast ultis twice in a row. I don't know what her regen is, but I don't think it's enough to make up for that. I'm about to check right now. 16 regen.
Attend us. Wounded to my heart.
It won't be enough to cast both ultis in a row, because it's 1200 mana to cast both ultis, and then Refresher is how much mana to cast it? 375. So she needs like 1600 mana, and I don't think it gives enough mana to push her up to that high. She's already got like a big part of it. We'll see though. She'd be better off getting like a Scythe Device or something, or an Orchid. I don't know. Orchid and then just dump all your spells on her. That'd be pretty sick as a Crystal Maiden. So yeah, you guys aren't really doing much to end the game. You're just sort of stalling it, and you're just, I don't know. There's not much to talk about. He's probably getting a Mjolnir. I'd rather him get an Assault Cuirass.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Nor need I trouble with death.
His items don't really progress. I went on a tangent when I was talking about his items. I got into illusions and stuff. But yeah, the most cost efficient, the most damage. If you're trying to build for his ulti, just to maximize damage on ulti, there's two items. There's Mask of Madness, which you can get early to really maximize it, because basically when you're ulting, you get right clicks during your ulti, and you get a ton of right clicks when you Mask of Madness, and then Omni slash someone. Butterfly is the second item. That's usually late game. The most cookie cutter sort of build on Juggernaut,
This'll come in handy.
and he's one of those few heroes that has like an actual cookie cutter build that you can build in nearly every situation, is Phase Boots, Poor Man's Shield, Drums, Aghanim Scepter, and then Butterfly. Maybe put a wand in there if you want.
Illusion.
Maybe don't commit to the full drums. If you're ahead, you can just get the bracer and then just start building Ags. But he generally is HP at the beginning of the game is pretty low, so you generally want to get some sort of HP item, usually the bracer or the drums, whatever. Crystal Maiden has that weird, awkward item build, getting 2 Sage Masks. Generally, you just want to go boots, a stick, don't upgrade it to a wand. If you're a support, you don't really want to upgrade shit to a wand, because it's 150 gold for the branches that you probably didn't buy when you started the game. Usually only carries buy branches at start with their starting gold. There's another 150 gold for the recipe for the wand, which is usually a set of wards. That's 300 golds that can be used towards sentries, smokes, anything to help your team as a support player. If I'm you, I would have bought a gem. Oh, you are getting the axe though, but I would have bought a gem. I would say sell the mech, buy a gem, and just ruin this broodmother's life every time you see her, because you can just shackle her to one of her creeps and then just multi her down and she dies every time. And you'd get like 600 golds because of all her spiders, and she doesn't micro them. She sort of just stacks them on top of her. Look, she got them stuck. She doesn't care. Just banning her babies in the wood. And now she's like, why can't I walk? Oh boy. You guys could have ended this game 10 minutes ago, I think, with one fight, and if you just focused the buildings. If you all popped your BKBs. If she popped her BKB, where is she? Luna. She has her butterfly, she has her items. They actually can't kill her, I think, if she actually BKBs, right? And uses her satanic properly.
Killing spree. Back to back.
Yeah, duel the Luna with satanic. Yeah.
Killing spree.
Yeah, it's GG.
Barracks are Radiant's bottom barracks have fallen to form. The Dire now
Good
have
shackle.
mega creeps. Dominating.
Radiant's middle tower is under
What
attack.
anything needs.
I said, you sort of want to, in general, as a rule of thumb,
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
when trying to think about items to build, you want to build your items in ascending cost.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
So remember I said, you know, you're buying 2 items here that are worth 27, like 2,200 golds. I'm just gonna pause here. Or I'll pause at the stat screen. You want to build cheap items first, then go on to more
I'll
gradually
return the
expensive
favor.
items, because the cheap items should help you farm faster, right? If you're going for a blink dagger on Windrunner, then that's your 2,100 cost item, right? So you don't really need to go to the force staff or the mech. It is not going to help you farm faster, but you should be using it to apply pressure, get kills on whatever like easy supports. Easy to kill supports, things like that. And then after that you can go for, say, your Mjolnir or the Ags or things like that. You probably want the damage before the Ags first. Desolator's not a bad item on her. Orchid's not a bad item on her. Even Scythe of Vice. If any sort of intelligence item is really good on her. Unconventional items on her. Maybe an early medallion. I would say that if you don't want a Basilius, if you don't want a bottle, if you don't want an urn, you can get like a medallion. It's a bit more expensive, it's 1,000 gold. And then you can just shackle someone, medallion them, and then ulti them. Also, my title of this broadcast is completely wrong. It's from when I was playing Legend of Korra, but that's whatever. I'll change that from the next time for the next game I do. But yeah, you played really, really well this game. You could have taken advantage of the lane easier, and basically, to reiterate what I said earlier about the biggest way for you to get MMR, if you're going to keep playing Windrunner, focus on your last hits, concentrate your item builds. You can take time to think about it. Even if you see pros playing, if you ever look from their perspective, they're always changing up what's in their my mind is drawing a blank. Their quick buy, I guess, yeah. What they have queued up to buy, or what item they're getting next. They're always changing their minds depending on what they think they need, things like that. Windrunner is an already fast farmer, so you don't need to rush the Maelstrom. But it's not a bad idea if you feel you can get away with it, things like that. So she doesn't really need a fast farming item, is what I'm trying to say, because of her power shot and her excellent last hitting. Basically, you should win most of your lanes against most heroes. A few heroes I think you should watch out for are things, if you're up against like maybe a Bane with Enfeeble, or he can kill you pretty easily, I think, because he just baits out your Windrun and then he just nightmares you or whatever. Outworld Devourer is pretty good against Windrunner. Pretty good against everyone. Razor, maybe, if you don't play that right, but you can outrange him, so that's okay. You just have to watch out for his nuke. Tinker can kind of fuck you up because he's all magical damage. You basically just want to watch out for magical damage. Most physical damage dealers, and you can shit on. Most melee heroes you can shit on. Basically, the only hero on this game you would have had troubles with is Leshrac or Tinker if you're in a lane against them, because of their magic damage. And Leshrac did pretty well this game. I'm not sure what lane he was in, but he did really well. In fact, he had highest GPM on his team and the highest farm, which shouldn't happen when you have a Tinker. He should be farming up everything. Even with the nerfs, he can still farm jungle pretty well and lanes. Yeah, just focus on your efficiency, I'd say, which is just experience and practice. And anyway, thank you for watching. And if you have more games that you'd want me to cast of any other heroes or even more Windrunner games, feel free to send me a message. Thank you. Goodbye.